It's Wednesday, December 6th. You're listening to Your Florida Daily. I'm Katrina Scales. A Midair scare forces a flight from Orlando to land in Jacksonville after an argument on board. According to the FAA, the flight had left from Orlando International Airport Tuesday and was on the way to Providence, Rhode Island, when it had to make an emergency landing in Jacksonville. Passengers say a couple was fighting when they started hearing the word bomb being mentioned.
The people were talking about claiming the other person had a bomb during their flight. The people around them heard the word bomb, reported to the airline. They're obligated to land the plane.
One man was escorted off the plane and arrested. All of the passengers who got off the plane were told they would be reimbursed if they got a hotel room for the night and that their flight would take off again today. With just weeks to go before the next legislative session, Governor DeSantis is out with his new budget plan. The $114 billion proposal is actually $4.5 billion less than this year's budget, but it still includes $200 million more for teacher pay, along with more than $430 million intended to lower property insurance premiums. It also includes 6 different sales tax holidays and reduces the state's workforce by more than 1,000 people.
This is a budget that is, I think, respecting the taxpayers of this state. We are living within our means. We are even paring back expenses. We're reducing the size of government. We're cutting taxes.
The governor says he also wants to set aside $1 million to help with any lawsuits that could come out of the recent decision not to include Florida State in the National Football Playoff. And a feeding program designed to help manatees survive in Brevard County is now coming to an end. For the last 2 years, wildlife teams with FWC have provided manatees with lettuce near an FPL power station. When their primary source of food, seagrass, disappeared from the river, it caused manatees to starve. In 2021, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service declared an unusual mortality event when at least 1,100 manatees died. 800 died last year. Last March, wildlife officials said they provided almost 400,000 pounds of lettuce to hundreds of manatees. They also said the pace of manatee deaths seemed to be slowing. If anything changes with the manatees, officials do have a plan to implement feeding again if it's needed. Meantime, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is reviewing the situation to see if manatees need to be relisted as an endangered species. You can find these top stories along with breaking news, weather, and traffic all day on clickorlando.com. And now, a completely random Florida fact. In the spring of 1982, an invasion came to a neighborhood in Seminole County called the Great Longwood Toad Invasion. People living in the Winder Manor neighborhood recall hundreds of thousands of tiny frogs swarming the streets, yards, and even hopping into homes. Experts think the invasion may have been caused by just the right conditions of heavy rains leading to a breeding frenzy. Your Florida Daily is produced by News 6 WKMG in Orlando. I'm Katrina Scales. Make sure to subscribe for new episodes wherever you like to listen.